Maintaining a custom cooling system is necessary if you want to swap out your coolant, change a component, or if you want to redo the whole thing. Whatever the case, we'll be doing some upgrades on one of the HydroX systems we have here at the office and show you some tips and tricks along the way. In this build, we do not have a drain port, so we will need to find a free port on the pump reservoir combo and lay the system down so the coolant does not spill out. In this port, you can mount a piece of tubing, ideally with a valve at the end so we can drain the coolant into a container. We recommend changing cooling periodically depending on how the system is running. To easily get all of the coolant out of the reservoir, loosen the top stop plug, but remember to put this back in place before tilting the system or using compressed air. Tilting the system back and forth can often help get more coolant into the reservoir for draining. But unfortunately, the way this one was built, it's still stuck in the tubes. To drain the remaining coolant, we can disconnect one of the tubes from the fittings. Make sure that you have paper towels and a bowl handy to catch the coolant and any potential spills. Gravity will do most of the work, so remember to also move tubes into position so coolant does not drip into your PC if you have to remove the bowl. Remove any unneeded fittings from the system, again while having a paper towel under the components you're unscrewing to catch any spills, as there will often be a bit of coolant left. If you have spare stop plugs available, it's a good idea to use them on the open ports to further eliminate chances of spills. To easily drain the entire system for most of the coolant, you can use a small electric air compressor. Before doing this, make sure that you have plugged all ports except for the ones going into your drain container, or you can be left with quite a mess. The compressed air will blow out most of the coolant from all of your components, reducing the chances of spills when you take out a radiator or a GPU block. However, we do still recommend using paper towels under the parts you remove. Be careful when you pull out the tubing from your fittings, as they can be very tight. Pull out the tubings in a controlled fashion using one hand on the tube and the other hand on the fittings or the block itself. Just as with the pump reservoir combo, we remove the extra fittings from the GPU block while keeping a piece of paper towel under it. Before taking the GPU block out, make sure that both power wires as well as RGB wires are disconnected. When taking the GPU block out, check if there is any extra coolant still in the block and dump it into your container. Twisting the block around can help, but be careful not to let the coolant drip in between the block and the PCB. Should you spill a bit of coolant on your hardware while no power is connected, don't worry. Clean it the best you can with a paper towel and leave it in a dry place for a couple of days before powering it back on. It's now time to swap out the components and get our new tubing bent and into the build. If you have previously used clear coolant, you are now ready to fill the loop and get going. This build previously had blue coolant in it, so we need to flush the blue color out of the system before putting another color in. To do this, we fill the loop with distilled water and run the pump with a 24-pin ATX jumper. You can clearly see how the blue dye gets flushed through the system and becomes more and more transparent. Depending on your system, you might need to repeat this step multiple times. In our case, we had to flush the system twice, draining it as much as possible in between each flush with compressed air. Finally, we fill the system with our new purple coolant. Since we already leak tested the system while flushing it, we can now enjoy the always cool first time filling. To loosen large air pockets from your radiators and blocks, you can tilt the cage from side to side while the pump is running. But make sure that you have all stop plugs installed in your reservoir so you do not give your components an unneeded shower. Pro tip: disconnecting the pump's PWM header during the fill process will make it run at 100% speed, making it easier to get rid of air pockets. For more information, check out corsair.com/HydroX. Thanks for watching.